not this kind of name-calling that we've heard.
Well, what we can also expect tonight is that he is going to go after Hillary Clinton for what he would call the hypocrisy. She was out with the Verizon strikers yesterday, hours after he had done the same. Yet she gave a paid speech to Verizon in May of 2013, for which she earned $225,000. Can you tell us the circumstances of that speech?
Well, again, the question here is who are Democrats going to nominate, who's going to get things done in Washington, take on these corporate interests.
Why did she take $225,000 from Verizon, from the same company which has this massive strike, the biggest strike in America in 5 years? And she was out with the strikers, yet she took $225,000 from the very company that they are striking against.
Because time and again in her career, Hillary Clinton has stood with people against powerful interests. She did that in the 90s against the health insurance companies. She's done that more recently against the fossil fuel industry, calling for their tax breaks to be taken away. She has the toughest plan on Wall Street. No one can be trusted more than Hillary Clinton to stand up to these interests. And we saw Senator Sanders this week in the New York Daily News editorial board. He couldn't answer how he's going to break up the banks. He couldn't answer what he's going to do about ISIS. So it's one thing to go out and talk a lot. It's another thing to have a record of really getting things done. And I will say, his strategy of personal attacks here in New York has failed. And no one should be calling any Democrat, any progressive, I would argue any elected official, these kinds of names. And I think Sanders is going to have to answer for that.
Well, how will she respond tonight when he will say, most likely, what about the hypocrisy of you walking with the strikers when you $225,000 from the company they're striking against?
Well, I think Senator Sanders should answer for the fact that in his first election campaign for Congress, that the NRA funded the campaign against his opponent. He is arguably in Congress today because of the help of the NRA. He should be answering for that.
Getting back to the question of Hillary Clinton and Verizon, though, how do you answer that? How does she answer that?
Hillary Clinton has time and again stood with people, with working people, against powerful special interests. That's what she did yesterday. That's what she's going to do as president.
And what will be your attack lines against him tonight?
Well, again, we're not interested in making the kind of personal attacks that Senator Sanders has been making here in New York. We want to talk about real plans to get things done. And as I said, Secretary Clinton has laid out real plans that are going to make a real difference in people's lives. Senator Sanders here in New York, where the spotlight shines bright and the scrutiny has been intense, has been unable to explain how he will actually get things done. So I think that's the debate we should have tonight. Enough of the name calling, enough of calling people unqualified or anything else. Let's get to the issues and let's get to the plans.
Robbie, when you sit and